Hello all and welcome back to High Ridge Farm with me, the Walrus. We're into our, well, the tail end of the third week of the summer, of the season of spring. I nearly said the summer of spring, because that makes perfect sense, right? Now, the Desert Festival has been and gone now, and I've managed to showcase my inability to bet on races or remember how many steps I've taken, mostly because I didn't remember to go and visit Mr. Key because of that summary. Now, I believe that actually I could have gone to the desert to see. Oh my goodness, I'm an idiot. It's literally in the desert. I think I could have gone upstairs in the desert and I was thinking I had to go all the way back to Ginger Island to go and see Mr. Key's hideout, and I've just realised, oh, goodness gracious. Well, this is why I shouldn't be allowed out in public sometimes. But talking about Mr. Key, we're still currently growing a bunch of his crops. Thankfully, we've managed to find a number of the beans. Now, of course, at the moment, I'm not super concerned about money, although I know my actions dictate that I kind of am, as I'm currently having a quick look through when it comes to the production from my animals and my preserves. One of the things I do need is I've got essentially a desiccator going, drying out some coconuts, and I then need some cactus fruit. That's going to be the big thing that I need at the moment. But the question is, can I get some? And if I can get some, can I then also, well, I mean, I know it's going to take about 3 or 4 days to turn it into jelly. So as long as that happens, the faster the better, of course. But that'll be the next major thing. And also visiting the desert is a big component of my desire at the moment, as I want to see if all of my solar farm is still intact. I'm curious to see whether if CuriouSape has set it so that it's like an instance, so it's a unique environment for the desert for that week, even though you can still teleport there and get the bus there, but for those 3 days even, it becomes a unique, identifiable, separate component version of the desert, which I guess it kind of should do since there is extra desert available. Okay, so an egg is available to hatch, but the building is full. That's fine. I think I need to make some more of the mayonnaise machines, because probably not a terrible idea for me to do, honestly, looking at it, as they are kind of needed at this point, aren't they? I dare say suggest, considering I have a selection of the golden chickens, which I've been feeding. Well, I've given a few of them the animal cracker thing, the golden cracker. I think it's a cracker, but either way, it gives you the ability to have double production. And of course, when it comes to a golden chicken, which lays every day and lays a golden egg, which allows you to make 3 mayonnaise out of it, it's a good cycle. Actually, I should probably check and see how much an actual golden egg is valued at on its own, because that's something I'm not actually sure about. I'm just turning them into mayonnaise because my brain goes, oh yeah, egg mayonnaise, done. Which potentially might not be the brightest of ideas. But again, me doing dumb stuff, who would have guessed? But for now, we also have all of our coffee beans. Our not everyday harvest, but every few day harvest of coffee beans. And with this large quantity of coffee plants, I will be able to open up my coffee empire, big enough to take out the likes of Starbucks. At least I can say it's ethically sourced. Because, you know, I've grown it myself. I mean, is it ethical if it's inside of a thing like that? Like a shed? It feels reasonably ethical, comparatively. But anyway. Let's just quickly move on over. Now, of course, the Junimos themselves have been busy at work gathering some of the key fruit. The more of that they can gather, the better, of course, because we've got so much of it that needs to be gathered. I think I still need another couple of hundred, so That's fine. I'm just pruning out a few of the slimes. I don't need all of them, to be fair. And let's go visit our raccoony friend. So you need the dried coconuts. That's fine. And then you want cactus fruit jelly. So that is going to require the cactus fruit itself, because that's literally how this works. So I do need to try and get more of that. Ooh, some squid. Okay, so you smuggled this out of the Gatoro Empire. Why does the Gatoro Empire have a portrait of my wife? Is there a particularly good artist who lives in the Gatoro Empire that we're not aware of, who secretly stalks all of the villagers somehow through, like, remote surveillance, drone equipment? I don't know. That's a bit creepy that you have a portrait of my wife. I don't like this. You concern me endlessly with your weird Gatoro nonsense. It would be kind of nice if Curious Ape did kind of release another game within the same universe as Stardew Valley. Maybe more of like one of those sort of like more storytelling games that, you know, you walk like a walking sim sort or something that kind of explains some of the background. But then again, the trouble with doing that is once you start answering questions, you then end up with people either annoyed that you've answered the question or that you've essentially stymied yourself because you've put yourself in a very awkward position when it comes to the story you've already created. A good bit of ambiguity isn't a bad thing because it allows people to create their own theories. That's something that I very much learned as a dungeon master when playing Dungeons and Dragons, is give enough ambiguity. Okay, so thankfully my solar farm wasn't demolished, so that does make me feel a bit better. And let's grab some coconuts and cactus fruit while we're here. That's good that we've got that. So I'm going to have to hope that tomorrow that maybe one of the preserve jars will be ready so that then I can replace the contents with some cactus fruit. And then wait, what, 3-4 days to then get that sorted. But that'll be nice because that'll make my life a lot easier because then I can dish out the things to the raccoon. Now, I don't actually know what the cooldown period on the raccoon asking for things actually is. I mean, I'm assuming there's sort of a window of time that they have to wait before they ask for more stuff. So I am inanely a little bit curious relating to that. I mean, it could be something, I guess. I'd assume at least a week, maybe 2, because they're expanding their family and having more raccoon babies. What is a baby raccoon called? I'm assuming not like a raccoonlet, because that sounds a bit silly. This is where Sod's Law is. That's actually the accepted terminology. I should probably vaguely pretend to try and find out, which I'm painfully aware I'm very bad at doing. But hey ho. Righty, so Robin's put another resource rush out for us, so that's a good 1,000 stone. I mean, that's not exactly difficult, and I'm quite happy to do that. So let's do that. I mean, the resource rush is easy. It's probably one of the easiest ones, especially when it comes to the stone versions, as I can just quickly nip down to either the Skull Caves or into the volcano, because the volcano does have more extra stone. Now, one of the other things that I am doing is that this video has come out since the slight patch update from Curious Ape, which provides a little bit more information. So it gives a little bit, when I say information, gives us a bit of an update when it comes to what one can do, as in there are more options available for us now, as we can see more floors of different sizes and types appearing in both the skull caverns and in the volcano. So I think visiting the volcano would be quite nice, because I'd like to see if any of the new style floors do appear, because it did get a little bit repetitive, I think, sadly. I don't know with any major certainty how frequent they are and how interesting and different they are, but they are there. So that's going to be interesting, I guess. So we'll see, hopefully, one or two of the new floors. So you've checked the desert. If you open the heart of the... Oh, okay. I guess because I'm not a particularly spiritual sort of person, I do find Emily a little bit strange when it comes to the herb. I'm not saying that she's quite the whole crystals are the be-all and end-all, but she does come across a little bit that way sometimes. And, yeah, it's not my knowledge base, really. I think possibly being a grumpy old man who doesn't really do spiritual things kind of builds that up there. But oh well. Right, so we're going to smash open these rocks whilst we've got the opportunity here. And that should be an easy trick that we've got going on here. And I don't think it'll be particularly difficult to sort that out. We've got some mushrooms as well that we could grab. But hopefully we also get ourselves a cave mushroom. Because I did do a quick YouTube short, which is about pickling mushrooms. And how that you can now pickle quite a number of them. But I didn't grab a lava cap, which was very much foolish on my own part. So now I'm going to try and get a lava cap and see if one can pickle it, because I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. I mean, it kind of makes sense to be able to pickle them, so hopefully we'll see that be a positive thing there, I guess. That's kind of really what I can say on that one, as I'm hoping that that is the case, that one can indeed gather the lava caps and actually use them in the pickling preserve jar. Be kind of nice to see what it actually looks like. As daft as that might very well sound, it's going to be different in its representation, I guess, compared to the brown mushroom. It is also interesting that you can't pickle the red mushroom, which, again, kind of get. It is essentially poison, so we don't really want that. But it would be kind of nice to see what you could do instead, I guess. Like, could you use it for something? I mean, that would be interesting if it had a particular interesting use, because it is poisonous. I don't think there are very many interesting uses for poisonous things. Well, I can think of some real life circumstances in which one might use a poison, especially on a farm, you know, pesticides, but I don't know if I really would like to think about that as a thing. Like, I don't really want to try and use pesticides on the farm. I mean, everything's organic and that makes me happy, but that is also because, you know, there is no there are no pests other than the crows. And I don't think I'd really like to poison a crow. I'd rather, you know, scare them away than kill them off. But, you know, pleasantness of games. The only things that you can kill are the monsters in the caves and caverns. And occasionally out in the wild, as one finds in Ginger Island. But as you can see, we're going to use bombs predominantly whilst we're out and about in the volcano, trying to gather more from my delve in here, as of course I want to try to get all the stone quickly. I'm feeling lazy, and when don't I feel lazy, to be very fair, on this sort of front. But yeah, I kind of want to be a lazy old soul and make my life easier. And I guess that's the thing. I haven't really got much else that I can sort of say on that. Like, I'm using... Now I already have visited the dwarf. The volcano dwarf, sorry. I should specify. I do already have the ability to find diamonds when I just mine something. So, we'll see how well that goes. Now, of course, this looks like one of the new floors. I've definitely not seen a floor that looks like this before. So this is kind of intriguing. Let's see what happens here. Well, some cinder shards. Oh, another dragon tooth. That could be helpful. I mean, I'm trying to think of when isn't it going to be handy sort of thing. It is a useful item. It's just not super useful right away for me, as I have other things to worry about, essentially. And yeah, let's get some coal, because of course, again, coal is going to be a continually needed and useful product for myself. I mean, when am I not going to need coal? Because I mean, unfortunately, that's a big thing. A big component of this is that coal is in constant demand. I'm always going to need it, and I'm always going to need more of it. And I think that's the issue. So there we go. So I've definitely bought the Diamond Hunter. And the thing is, I do know that there have been a new pair of shoes added. I don't know where they're from. I don't know how to get them, but I do know they exist, and they are better than the Cinder Clown shoes that I am presently wearing. And I still think I am getting the jingling whenever I walk. Now, the thing is, I've tuned it out enough that actually, without focusing, I'm not actually sure if it's actually there. Or maybe it was just a complete auditory hallucination, and I'm going mad. Well, I say going mad. I am quite clearly a little bit odd. Oh well. So, let us see. Is there anything else that we can do? I mean, the quiver's doing absolute silly damage for us here, isn't it? It's genuinely quite surprising how effective the quiver really is. I thought that the frog was pretty good, but the quiver, it's absolutely devastating. Yes, it's not a silly amount of damage, but look, it's doing 38 to 42 damage, which is definitely more than it's stated to do, but it's just making it so easy. Don't have to do anything, and just stuff dies, and it's done, which is great. Okay, so we've got some more taro. I should probably try and plant some more of that. But I think the thing is, at the moment, because I'm trying to delve a little bit more into what is new in the 1.6, and I think 1.64 we're now on, update-wise, there's not... I'm trying to figure out if there's much else that I need to kind of explore. Because we've got all the new events and such, and I don't think it'd be a good idea for me to just sleep through the rest of the days and just, hope for the best. Because I do want to actually experience what's new and exciting. So, I don't know. But we will see. I'm sure exciting things will happen. And that's really all we're after. Lots of exciting new shiny things. And as it goes, it doesn't seem that... let's try that again in English, sorry. It doesn't seem like it's going particularly poorly. Although what I do really need, by the looks of things, is more ocean jelly. I've got a reasonable amount of the river, and I've got some of the cave jelly, which is being generated by the lava eels. I wonder if one of the ocean fish can also generate ocean jelly. I should probably try experimenting with that, because I'm thinking about... I mean, the squid, they're okay, but squid ink isn't really that handy. I think I might swap the squid out. And the sturgeon are, again, they're okay because they give something unique. They give you caviar as opposed to just the roe. But I'm not sure if that's really as big of a thing. And I know that might sound odd, but I've done the bit that I needed them for with the requirement for, I think it's the hidden bundle that you need it for. But, I'll have a think. I think really relaying out how I'm going to do stuff within the farm is probably a good idea at some point. I mean, especially when it comes to the fish. The fish themselves. That's going to be a biggie for me to reorganize and readdress Okay, so my child has grown up enough that they can wear a hat piece. What should I choose? What would be ridiculous and entertaining? The mummy mask. Oh, yeah. This is very much the dad's an idiot. Why has he put that on your head? I very much assume that Haley would just be like, I married this man. Why? Why? Which I can totally understand. And one of the other things I'm sort of looking at doing whilst we're roaming around at the moment in the house is there anything else that I need to do kind of with the layout of the house? I don't think there's anything that's really striking me as particularly in need of redress. Let's just quickly give the animals some water. I wonder if I could put a sprinkler there and just have that done automatically like I have done with the slimes. That would be quite nice if that is the case, because that would make my life super, super easy. And I'm never going to deny that I am quite a lazy man. So if something easy pops up, yeah, of course I'm going to kind of take that. That's exactly what we need. So let's see. So there's some coconuts. I'm going to take those coconuts and I'm going to put them in the room of the preserve shed. Not really room, but yeah, I'm going to go and put them in there because that's really where they should belong at the moment. I feel that's quite a sensible place to put them. And kind of hope for the best on that, I guess. Not really much else I can suggest on that. But yeah, I've got a few other things that I kind of want to organize here. Now, I know that the animals aren't doing too badly. And there we go. So that is convenient. We've now got the perfect timing here, as we now have all of these lovely things ready. So this is going to be the tricksy bit, is making sure that we can actually end up with a good number of the things that we require. So because we need the cactus fruit, that is a thing, that is the major component of this, is I actually need to sort that out. That shouldn't be too difficult, but it is one that I do need to sort out. So yeah, let's see how well this goes. We can also try and put through a bunch of the stuff that we've got in storage here. We've got lots of things, and I think some of them do really need to be reorganized and redressed, because some of them are a little bit in excess. Like I've got lots of items, but not a great stock of some items, and I'd rather work through the items that I have a lower stock of, just to clear up some space. I also really should go and get that large stone chest recipe from the dwarf, which I am painfully aware does involve me remembering to do something. So that is the difficult component here. But once I've done that, then I can also just, not worry so much about space, because that was actually an issue I had, and do keep having, is that I don't have enough room for everything, which is a pain, if I'm brutally honest. And yeah, I'd really like to get around that, thanks. That would be nice. Okay, so we're going to dump all of these in here, because that, makes sense to me to kind of organize like that. But what next can we do? I think that's the big question. What's the next clever thing that we can try and wrangle? And I guess that's a big thing, isn't it? Me attempting to be clever. Okay, so well, let's put some of the tree fruits in, because that's probably the best plan of action on this one, I think. I can't say that it might be a particularly clever idea, but it seems to be. But I do like the fact that you can pickle the spring forageables, and that does genuinely make me quite happy as a silly little thing. So I'm definitely going to be doing that, and it was one of the things that I found when I was just mucking about, and I felt really pleased that that was something, and it made me very, very happy. As I know, as silly as it is, but it did make me very happy that something so minor could be thought about. And yeah, I know, small things, small minds, but I'm easily impressed and easily amused, apparently. So I don't care too much. That's just how it goes. Right. What else have we got that we can sort out while we're running through this bit? I think that's the big question. Is there anything else that we need to sort out? I don't think there's much else that we need to organise here. But it seems to be going all right. This is the big question, isn't it? It's like, what else can or should I do on the farm at this moment in time? And I guess that's kind of the consideration. I could look at doing some re-rolls. So one of the things I would like to do is potentially do some re-rolling on the frog. Because I'm curious on that front. Because I believe that if you use a re-roll on the frog, or anything that gives you like a flat status immunity, it might give you something different. And I'm curious to see if the frog might actually change colour, because that would be very cool if it does, because I like the idea of the tree frog. They're fun. I say tree frog, it's not really, but that was something I remember drawing a lot of as a kid. Very badly, I will admit. I can't draw. I'm genuinely atrocious. When it comes to my sketching capabilities, I genuinely nearly got into some trouble doing my degree, because my degree is in medicinal biology. I know I laugh at that, but yes, my degree's in applied medicinal human biology. It's kind of as a medical science. And yeah, when it came to like doing annotations and stuff, because of the kind of the traditional approach of my university, they were like, no, you need to learn how to draw everything. I'm like, but there are cameras in my phone. I can take a photo of the infected tissue or something. When on earth am I ever going to need to be able to draw the heart? Which I will freely admit I cannot do. I am so bad at doing observational things. So it's one of those unfortunate skills that I never really used a lot of as a child. I mean, I did draw, but not that much. And I think that's kind of screwed myself over slightly. Because I don't have the... Like, my younger brother, much better artist than I just don't have that ability. And it does kind of disappoint me somewhat. I know I should probably just try and improve that by actually just, trying. But interestingly, I can paint miniatures, and I can paint freehand on those, but give me a pencil, I can't do it. I think it's maybe because I've trained myself to do that more so, because I've just kept doing it over and over and over, because that's what one does when one works for the company that makes the damn tabletop war game. You kind of have to. So maybe I've just need to sit down and try and draw a bit more. I mean, it'd be kind of nice as a trick, I guess. I said trick. I mean, like, as something nice to be able to do. Especially because I've seen the lovely pictures that my mother has drawn of my guinea pigs, and they're absolutely adorable. And I have an embroidered cross stitch that she made for me one Christmas of 2 guinea pigs, because she knows that I absolutely adore them. I love my guineas. They are very much my babies, through and through. So, that's a thing. Okay. Other silliness aside, I still would stand by, I'd love to have a guinea pig that just roams. I know they wouldn't really do anything, which I know is the awful thing, like, kind of as a replacement for the rabbit. Maybe just as a skin, instead of the rabbit, you can have a guinea pig. but there's not really, like, other than a cuddle, you can't really, it's not like there's no associated thing like the rabbit's foot, which is usually a chicken's foot, by the way, when you see them, interestingly enough. I mean, kind of good, I guess. But yeah, they don't really do much other than be potatoes. So it might be a cute little thing if maybe they gave you a boost to something. Like in the same way you got the shrines that you can build. I wonder. Maybe like a shrine of guinea pig that gives you a small farming buff or something. I don't know. General silliness aside, no idea. Okay, so I definitely need to make way more of the mayonnaise makers. I'm getting quite a stockpile of eggs, and the quantity of things that are coming out from all of my general experimentation with the golden chickens and their mayonnaise producing capabilities. Or what I should really do is possibly go and visit the what's it called? The coop before the end of the day as well. That might be a kind of a trick to this mess that I'm currently finding myself within. I don't know. I mean, it probably wouldn't hurt for me to do that, because that way I could actually, well, actually get all the mayonnaise done in a single day. Because I know it doesn't take an entire... It's not like it's an overnight thing, the mayonnaise maker. Thankfully. But, I need to sort that out. Okay. What other things have we got that we can sort out today? Well, we're mining away. We're still striving for stone once more because, of course, that's what we're kind of going for at the moment, is we need more stone because we want to achieve the 1,000 required by Robin. Now, I know it's not going to give me, like, any major rewards, but it is going to give me these prize tickets, and I think that's something I need more of because I'm curious, genuinely curious to see what can you actually get from them. I mean, I'm hoping that one can receive something a little bit intriguing, but I also do need to take all the presents and such that I'm acquiring over to Clint at some point, so that then I can have them opened, which does seem slightly irritating that I have to get the blacksmith to open them up, but fine, I'll deal with that. Especially since it's like a box, it seems very counterintuitive to me on that one. Then again, I could be wrong. You might be able to do it on your own. I don't know. But all the same, that's a thing. Right, so we've still got more horrible enemies that are getting in the way whilst we're roaming, which is fine. It's not really the end of the world. We can certainly live. We've got more golden mystery boxes. That's nice. So it is interesting, the slightly more complex layout of some of these, actually. I'm curious. I quite enjoy this, actually. It's different. So I wonder what other things one can find in this sort of like this layout that we've kind of found ourselves here. It'd be interesting to see if there is more general options for the weird and wonderful. But there's another lava cap, so we can grab that one. That'll be good. Sorry, magma cap, not lava cap. I bet you the lava cap is actually the name of an enemy in this, and I'm just being silly. Might be the name of the mimic type creature. I don't know. There we go. So let's blow that up. I mean, we're still slapping our way through lots of stuff. And I think that's kind of the way to go in this sort of general playthrough here. We're just trying to gather as much and as many of these lumps of stone as physically possible at this point. Not really much else I can do. Sadly, I guess. I'll blow that up. That's fine. See what else we can get. Maybe something good. Who knows? Okay. Well, I think we're pretty much sorted on the stone front. That's not really too much of a worry at this point now. Because, well, I don't want to detonate a bomb where there's not much point in detonating one. I don't think there's... It feels like there's much point. Then and there, at least. Oh, we got another robot. That needs to get smacked in the face with a hammer. And again, the arrows are just doing silly useful damage. I'm definitely quite happy with it. Okay, so we've detonated that. Put a little bridge over. And again, the rate of fire on this thing is silly. Like, it's absolutely absurd. I'm loving it. Makes it so hilariously good. Right, so let's head back home. That's probably our best shout at this point now. We can head home for the night. Deposit our things away in the correct and appropriate locations, because, again, that's kind of what we should do here. I've got some other ideas of things that need to be done, I guess. It's probably the best way of kind of describing it. There's a few other things I do need to sort out and organise. Hopefully nothing super worrying, though. Because, obviously, we've got a few other things that we need to do on the farm today, and I don't think there's much else that really needs to be wrangled. Of course, I wouldn't mind planting some more seeds, but it's not really like it's that much of a concern at this point. Which, you know, not the end of the world, is it? But I do need to go and ride down and go and see the shrine, because that's something I've forgotten to do for the last couple of days, is go down there. Because that would be sensible to go and visit that. As, of course, I want to get my final component path. Okay, so we've now got that. So Grandad's hat has now appeared on that little stone over there. I can feel Grandad's hand on my shoulder. It's a little bit strange, feeling the ethereal, non-corporeal body of one's father in such a situation, but hey, it's how this game works. It's strange at the best of times. I love it, but some of the oddities, like, what? Let's see if we get any moss off of these trees. I should probably try and see if planting... The quarry, why didn't I think about that? The quarry is laden with trees. Goodness gracious, that was a silly thing to not think about. That might give me a good boost to that. Okay, Statue of Blessing, 333 moss and 999 fibre. Okay, well, I haven't really been trying to get fibre, so that's going to be a pain in the posterior. Not impossible, just annoying. I can certainly do it, just effort. And the same with the moss. I think I'm going to try and get the moss from the quarry. I think that might work. But I have made my statue of the Dwarven King. I wonder if it only affects... I wonder if you only get one blessing from it. You know what I should do? I should probably make a second one to test and find out on that theory. Because I genuinely do not know if it actually works if you stack multiple of them. Because that would be curious if that does. I mean, that'd be silly. It'd be very exploitable, especially if you have a lot of iridium bars, which I guess I kind of do. But, yeah, that would... that would suck. But yeah. Let's see. What else can we do? I think of the cooking recipes and stuff. I'm sure there's a few things that I'm missing. Like, there must be a couple. Like, it definitely feels like I am missing something. I'm glad that my dear spouse is a fan of coffee. I think that's kind of a thing that, for me, in any form of relationship, I need to have somebody who does enjoy a nice coffee, because God only knows I do. I do need the energy drinks and caffeine to live. So, sorry for those of you who are not tea or caffeine drinkers, because, man, do I need it in my life. So, I think I really do need to start trying to drink tea again. It's one of those things that it just is a flavour I'm not really keen on. But maybe that's because I'm having it as tea with milk. Maybe I should try it without milk and see if I like that more. I know one of my American friends, she has Earl Grey tea with a splash of lemon, and that feels not quite almost barbaric, but it seems very strange to somebody who's very much used to the idea that tea has milk in it and may or may not have 1 to 5 sugars in, depending on who on earth you're talking to. The friend of mine who drinks his tea with 3 sugars feels like an absolute heathen every time he suggests it. It's like, you absolute monster, why do you need so much sugar? Because what you're saying there is you like the taste of sweet because of the sugar, but you're not really that keen on the taste of tea. You strange old soul. Good friend of mine, but I can't really understand his choice in his tea consumption. Okay. Let's plant some more cauliflower, because cauliflower is wonderful, and I do enjoy a good old bit of cauliflower. It's actually one of the a food item that I'm quite fond of as a thing, but not very heavily cooked. I actually quite like just raw cauliflower. I will wash cauliflower and just eat that. It's okay, yes, I know it's a bit weird, I guess, in the grand scheme of things, but it tastes nice and I like it, and I also enjoy it when I've slapped it in an air fryer. Quite tasty there. Air fried and given a little bit of extra flavour. It's quite nice. But again, yes, I'm sure I'm being very strange and very odd. Don't really care, because I know I am. And that is just how this goes. Right, so let's water this patch of land we have here and see what else we can actually get from it. Because something might be good. I don't know what, though. Well, I guess, I mean, I've grown some carrots, and they are very fast growing, actually. I've been quite surprised by that. But then again, I think root vegetables like carrots and parsnips do actually grow very quickly. I think I remember something like radishes growing in the space of only like a week or so. So it's kind of surprising how quickly one can obtain a radish from the ground, which I'm well aware is probably something that sounds very peculiar for me to rage on about. Don't think it's quite 3 days high speed, but it's still, you know, a quick thing in a grand scheme of things. Let's sell those flowers that I don't need. I definitely don't need those. Anything else? Well, I've got my oak resin. Now, can I do anything particularly clever with that? I don't think so. Not at the moment, sadly. Kind of disappointing, because... Well, actually, no. Do I need oak resin? No, I need oak resin to make the kegs, not the mayonnaise maker. I need earth crystals for that. Maybe I should set a couple of my crystallariums to produce me some more of those, because that would probably not be a bad idea. I'm going to need them. I think that's really what it boils down to, isn't it? But I am going to need them. But how am I going to wrangle that? I mean, one hopes that I can figure out a way that I could figure that out. But I'm not sure if there is a clever thing that I can do for that. All the same, let's make some more of those. Oh, it's also coal. That's the other thing that one needs for it, isn't it? Oh, yes, that's going to be tricksy, because coal is something I need a lot of. I need, what, 8 coal, earth crystals, stone, and wood, if memory serves. And that's not impossible to gather, of course. It'd be absolutely ridiculous if that was impossible. But the problem I've kind of got is that I need that already. Like, I have a need for coal because I want to get the piano. And I have a need for coal for... Do I need it for one of the statues? I'm not sure. I also haven't made any of the new furnaces, like the heavy furnace, which I kind of really want to make as well. Because the heavy furnace might be good as well. So that uses 25 of a resource and 5 coal. Which I think is sufficient enough that that would give you, what, 5 of an item? I think. So hopefully that does give you 5, or if not more. Who knows? Okay, so we've got those dried apricots. So I do also want to see what I need to remember to dry. Maybe I'll dry some pineapples when I've got the next harvest. I'll preserve some pineapples into jelly, and I'll also see how much a selection of 5 of them that have been turned into a dried pineapples is actually worth, because I'm assuming it's a decent return, but it is also countered by the fact that it's a high-speed process, because it doesn't take a full day to do, whereas the preserve jar takes 4 days to turn it into jam, and I think the keg takes 7 days to turn it into wine. So I'm curious on that one. So, heavy furnace, where are we? Oh, there we go. Okay, so I need 2 furnaces to make it into a heavy furnace. Well, that's not impossible to do. I've got a row of furnaces right there. I'll just take 2 rows of them, and I'll turn... I think that should be enough considering the stock of iron I've already got. And that should be good, I guess. Not impossible to deal with. Let's crack that in. Well, we've made what we can. Let's slap them down and see what we get. I mean, obviously heavy furnaces, duh. But I would like to replace maybe not all of the furnaces. And maybe I'll replace most of the furnaces with heavy ones. So I need 25, don't I? So that's not impossible to do. And I wonder how many of like the quartz and stuff that one needs. I'm assuming you might need only 5, because it seems to be 5 times the regular amount that is required for it. So I'm curious. I mean, it might be the case. Genuinely don't know. We'll have to have a look when the opportunity arises. Let's put that clay away, because I do actually want a bit more in the way of clay, because I don't actually have that much, really. That probably wouldn't hurt for me to have, to be fair. Also, I should probably make some of that bluegrass as well and start planting that down, because I'm not sure what that actually even does, like, as a difference. Like, what does it do to the animals? Does it increase the happiness that they have, or does it give them a boost to their production, or something? I just don't know. Genuinely, I'd like to know. But we made ourselves a deluxe worm bin, because that means that we can have better bait turning up. And I can't remember what the actual benefit of that particular bait actually is, but I should probably check, because we've got lots of opportunities that we can make use for these specifics, and I haven't actually tried making any of the specific fish bait items, and I'm curious to see what that might actually give me as things go. I mean, like, it'd be nice to see what I can gather from it. But hey, we'll see. Now we will just check the bins, because I have heard through the grapevine that there is a book that one can obtain from the bins, and yeah, I like the idea of the dumpster delving and getting something from bins. Okay, so we've now got the big stone chest, so I can actually replace my stone chests now. So thank you for mentioning that one, whoever that was. I've forgotten who it was who mentioned it, because it was quite a while ago that I had the desire for that. And thankfully, well, I now have that recipe, and I feel quite vindicated in my, not really ability, but my having obtained it, because that makes my life so much easier. Now let's try fishing in here. Now I know this isn't going to be ocean jelly, but I'm also curious to see Also, the stacking bonuses that one can obtain from actually slapping together like the different bobber combinations, because you can have 2 of them with the advanced iridium rod, which is very good, of course. But I'm curious to see what that actually can give you, because I mean, there's got to be some like clever combinations that one can pull from this and actually get maybe an increased chance of treasure, because if you've got 2 treasure bobbers. I guess also if you have magnets, because that was the thing that confused me at first, is that the magnet is now a bait rather than an actual a bobber. So that did confuse me when I first saw that. So that could give me some other bonuses, maybe, perhaps. I should have a look. Should definitely have a look and see. But for now, there's another gold chest, and I definitely need to go to Clint tomorrow. There's definitely no time to do so today, but I'm going to go and see Clint tomorrow. And I guess, really, I've got to just hope that he can open up all of the chests, or open up all of the presents that I've got, and just everything, because I have so many things lying around that need him to hit with a hammer. Like the same way, I like having the geode crusher, but I do know that really outside of visiting Clint to upgrade my equipment, I don't really go and see him very much. Maybe with these particular items, they kind of encourage you to go and visit him rather than just, well, ignoring him, because he is, as a character, I do feel sorry for him, but I do also feel that he doesn't really do anything to help himself, and unfortunately therefore falls into the nice guy stereotype that is so very prevalent, by being very much the, yes, I wish Emily would notice that I really like her. It's like the, I'm sure she either knows, or you really should just tell her, you silly old soul. Because if you don't tell somebody that you have some feeling of attraction to them, well, you're never going to know, are you? So, yeah. Silly old Clint. But, hey, here's an interesting old character. But I wonder if we'll also see some of the other developments of other characters within Stardew. And I know like there's some people who are very keen on the idea of dating some of the other characters, such as our lovely museum entrepreneur, who is unable to be interacted with outside of a few key events, which is a shame really, because Gunther's quite an interesting character. It'd be nice to be able to interact with him a bit more, but that is the way the game goes. Now, that mining buff that I've obtained earlier this morning, finding more ladders and chutes, my goodness, does that make me a very happy man, because the idea of being able to find more of them, especially when I'm dungeon delving in the Skull Caverns, oh man, I'm excited for that, because that's essentially a big old boost to my luck stat right there, and that is going to make my life so much easier. And I'm all about making my life easier. Now, here's a little secret there. I didn't realise until I was fumbling through the forests that there are 2 entrances to this little corridor down here with the 2 sets of logs. So there's 2 big stumps. So don't forget that that one exists. But whilst I'm roaming around in here, you can see the quivers just doing my work for me. Yes, they're very basic green slimes. It's not like they're going to cause me any problems, and I could look at them and they'll die. But the fact that I don't even have to think about dealing with them is so good. I like this, genuinely, this combat trinket of the quiver is just making my life so much easier. I love it. Absolutely love it. And especially since that as I mentioned previously, I'm quite lazy, so it makes my life way easier. Right, so there's some coal available from my last delving through, which is good. Now, I think I need to start essentially smelting some more. Or say smelting, you don't smelt wood, but I do need to turn it more into the charcoal, because actually, yeah, it's kind of a constant need, really. And I've only got 623, and I need a few hundred more than that. So yeah, really, really need more. I don't know what I can do for it, though. That's the problem. Because I do want... I guess because there are now the coal nodes, I wonder if there are any bonuses from the mining statue from the Dwarf King that can give you a increase to coal drops. That'd be nice. I guess that's really what I'm kind of hoping for, isn't it? But all the same, we're just going to quickly get ourselves ready to go for the next day. Tomorrow I am going to visit Clint. I must remember to do so, to smack open some things. I've got all these eggs here, so again, just putting them in. I do need to make some more of these. So I think that's the plan for next week, is to make more mayonnaise machines. Maybe even put a selection of mayonnaise machines in the other coop as well. Just to err on the side of, I say caution, but really make my life easier on that one. And I'm just going to deposit these here. But I also need to go and see Clint and make sure I have all of the things that need working on from him, to give to him even. Because there are quite a few that I have just sitting around in my inventory, taking up space. But for now, I think it's getting very close to the time of the end of the day for our lovely venturing into Pelican Town. So I think I'd like to bid you all a very fond farewell. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you have enjoyed, please do like, share and subscribe, as they always are very helpful. And please, if you have enjoyed, or you would like to see me do something a bit different, leave a comment, because I do read them all. I always try and engage with everybody who leaves a comment, and I feel that that's very important on my front here. And yeah, if you want to see me do something different as well, please do list away. I know that I'm looking into actually doing a stream, more so on Twitch as well at the moment, and I will also then upload those recordings onto YouTube later on, but that is something that I do want to do. I should also then be making announcements as well as to when I'll be joining streams with my good friend Lalion Cosplay, when she does her streams as well, because she also does a lot of Dungeon Master streams, and you might even be able to see me playing in one of her campaigns where I'm essentially used as a fill in the blank, this is an easy extra character, because we needed to have someone else who kind of knows what's going on. But that's how that goes, isn't it? So, as I say, bid you all a fond farewell, and big shout out, thank you goes out to my Patreon supporters on Patreon. And I will hopefully catch you all again the next time the Walrus plays Stardew Valley.